Well, now that we're into June, the sun is so important for us to have a very good summer. The sun is also very important for us in our world these days. So we're in a business in Niagara Falls called Enerdynamics that do a lot with the sun and solar. But not only that, a lot with energy efficient structures. Man behind it, John Gamble. Nice to meet you, John.
Nice to meet you, Tim.
Okay, so this is, how big's the facility here?
90,000 square feet.
90,000 square feet. I started with the solar because that's kind of how the business started, right?
That's correct.
How long have you been working in solar energy for, John?
15 years.
Right, okay.
Right. Yeah.
And then when have you transitioned more into energy efficient structures?
Since 2013.
Okay. We have a few guys here putting together one of these structures. What makes your structure so unique?
Well, this structure is unique because it can go together very quickly. It's all, we make it with the aluminum parts. It can then, it goes together, and it just bolts together.
Okay. What is a structure like this used for? What are you targeting this for?
Target this for homeless shelters, also for disaster relief, quick buildings that can, for people. Can also be your backyard, can be a backyard shed for your tools. You can use different, you can put a different doors on it. You have a roll-up door if you wanted.
But the technology itself, like what is it made out of, John?
Okay. It's made out of our proprietary fiberglass.
So fiberglass.
Fiberglass.
That's all fiberglass.
That's all fiberglass.
Okay. What's inside the fiberglass?
EPS, expandable polystyrene.
Okay. And it changes its form depending on how energy efficient you want it to be?
Correct. If you use like, this is a 1-inch material.
Okay.
It's got like an R5 rating. Not very insulatable.
Right.
But it will get you out of the wind, get you out of the rain.
What about something like this one that you have here?
Yeah, this one is 6-inch material, R40. This would, in the winter, you could heat this with a 400-watt heater. And it actually being used right now in the Yukon. It was used last winter.
So they're using in the winter. So who are you selling them to in the Yukon?
To mining companies.
Mining companies, okay. Yeah. So you would only need a small heater in that where you would need to heat something like this a little bit more.
Correct.
Okay.
Now this shelter, this could also be used for in your backyard for an office.
Okay.
Okay, that's what the other target market for this is for people. You know, everybody with COVID, you want to be in your backyard. There's
setting up shop at home.
Unit.
So that's one side of the business.
That's one side of
the other side is adding solar to this.
Correct.
And making these off-the-grid units that run on their own power.
Absolutely.
We're going to stop there because what you guys are doing with solar power is quite fascinating here at Enerdynamics in the Falls. We'll get into that when we come back on Morning Live. Well, good morning and welcome back to the Falls. We're at Enerdynamic, a fascinating company doing some really neat things. We saw a structure being built, an energy efficient structure being built last half hour. These structures right now are actually going to be getting shipped out in the next couple of days, John?
Correct.
And where are they going?
BC.
BC. What is
heading to the Yukon.
Yukon. What's like something like that for?
That's for a helicopter.
They got to be dropped in.
They got to be dropped in. All these remote locations, you have to have something to be able to get people's
like how much would this weigh?
About 1,300 pounds.
Compared to, let's say, a structure that's not made out of your patented
material,
fiberglass?
It would be 1,800 pounds.
1,800. Okay. So then we promised that we wanted to work in solar because, John, you've been working in solar for 15 years, right? Yep. But it's evolved.
It's evolved.
Right?
Yes.
And what's the future of solar?
Future is everything. Everything has to, the sun is our future.
Okay, so what have you done with solar?
What we've done is we've evolved solar and changed it from a regular type panel, which is still made today. Everybody else makes it, not us. This is a regular panel. This panel weighs 44 pounds. Okay. We've taken this and evolved it into a panel that weighs 18 pounds.
This is 18 pounds compared to 44.
And there's no glass. So therefore, unbreakable. One of these, if you just tapped it on the ground, it will shatter. It's windshield glass. there's no glass. This can be, you can hit it. You can put it down. You can jump on it.
Really?
Oh yeah. Can't break it.
So what is in the, it's the film? Like what did you patent when it comes to your solar?
We patented the process of putting the cells and putting it onto our fiberglass material, but also we came up with this polymer that goes on the top that makes it.
Because what does the sun like in here?
The sun likes the cell, likes the lines inside the cell. Those are what the sun hits that and makes those electrons flow and run, and then they run all the way around into the junction box in the back.
When you say sun, does the sun have to be out? Like today, is their sun is like a little bit, it's a little cloudy.
The sun doesn't have to be out. As long as you have light, the light hits the electrons, they flow power. Now, as you get a bright sunny day, of course,
You're going to get more power.
You get more power. But as soon as the sun comes up in the morning, you got power.
Do you sell these just to a consumer like myself for their house?
Not at this point.
No, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
So who are you targeting with this stuff?
We target these for our units.
For your energy efficient units.
Units
Okay.
at this point.
Let's take a break and go outside because there's a couple of units that you have, a charging station unit, and what's the garden one called when you're growing stuff in?
Grow unit.
Grow, like it's a total grow unit that you're actually growing some stuff in there. We'll do that when we come back to Enerdynamic in Niagara Falls on Morning Live. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Enerdynamic in the Falls. We're outside, and I want to introduce you to, first off, the Energrow. This is Jeremy. And then this is the Power Wagon. I'm skipping right over Jeremy. Yeah. We'll get to him in a second. But these are two of the energy efficient structures that they're making here at Enerdynamic with the solar. So these are totally running off the grid.
Completely off grid, yes.
Okay. What is the Energrow used for, Jeremy?
We primarily use it for growing fruits, vegetables, anything like that. We originally designed it for the Food for the North program, so that way we can start giving fresh vegetables to people that live far north.
Okay, what about the Power Wagon?
The Power Wagon comes from really an idea to simply have a generator that doesn't require fuel. What we have here is the ability for contractors, community events, things like that, to be able to just have quiet mobile power. So when we have street festivals and things like that, something like this would be fantastic.
Amazing. So I look at the Energrow, and what stands out is there's solar everywhere. I think solar, I think roof.
Yes, we've deviated from that through a lot of testing and a lot of experimenting. What we've come to realize is that if we utilize the east and west sunlight, that we actually acquire a lot more energy throughout the day. So we don't really need to just stick to the roof or stick to a south-facing wall.
Okay. What's the difference between these panels? Let's say the bottom one here and up here, because they look different.
Okay, so down here what we have is our what was a traditional panel. It's a little different because this is our material. A traditional panel would have glass. So what we've done is we've moved on to a newer cell, which is actually a back contact cell. So there's no more metal ribbon in here to carry the electricity.
So like
through.
anything like this, like Jeremy, like that, like gap there, that's taking away from the amount of cells that can be in the panel, which means the amount of energy that we can be producing?
Well, we still have that on the other ones. What we do, it's a black surface, so you can't really see it.
Right.
We need to create a small space there, so that way we actually separate the electrical circuits.
But this is producing more power than this.
This is producing almost twice as much.
Twice as much?
This is producing a lot more.
So is this your first generation down here, and this is the...
Yeah, yes, I'd have to say
Ish,
that. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, there's how many generations
there's
has there been?
a couple before this.
Couple before that too.
So.
Okay, at what point can we see in our world houses built out of this?
I would like to say immediately, this is the kind of thing that we should be doing, we should be adopting.
Okay, so why aren't we?
I can't do
that. That's a big answer. But is it sticker price right off the hop because of what, like how much this unit?
I would have to say probably it's sometimes that. I think it's also some people are just simply used to particular construction materials, things like that. They're not used to seeing something kind of new and different like this.
Right.
I think the hardest thing to get people's minds past.
Okay, let's take a break. Actually, you know what, Keith, come with us, because we're taking a break, but I want to go inside for the last one,
okay,
because to see how everything's working and to see what's growing in there. But I just want to give folks at home a little tease here, Keith, to see things working, and we'll open her up and get into this when we come back. Enerdynamic in the Falls on Morning Live. Well, good morning and welcome back to Enerdynamic in the Falls. What a fascinating morning we've been having, learning so much about their energy efficient units and their new creation of what solar energy is all about. Back with Jeremy, who's helping us out. And we are in the
Energrow unit.
Energrow unit. We gave you a little preview of last half hour. So what are these Energrow units being used for, Jeremy?
Well, originally the Energrow unit was designed for the Food for the North program, so that way we can help grow fresh vegetables, herbs like lettuce, sage. We've got tomatoes back here, things like that for people of the North who can't grow fresh food that we have to bring it to.
Because of their climate.
Because of the climate.
Because this can be set down anywhere.
This can be set anywhere. We can put it in the frozen north of Canada or the heat of Africa.
So does this have the same technology when it comes to the units, like what the structure is built out of?
Yes, this is our patented material. There's no studs in this wall. It's all just our core material, which is an EPS and our fiberglass.
So with no studs in the wall, what does that mean?
That means that we're not having any thermal bridging. So we're not having any of that outside environment coming to the inside, none of the heat or the cold.
And it's be totally worked off the grid because all of those solar panels we saw outside are powering everything.
Yes, the solar's powering all of this completely. There's no connection to the grid or a generator or anything of that
And
sort.
how are things growing?
Things are growing fantastic. We're actually getting better yields than we expected. We're seeing up in another box that we have in here that we're getting larger vegetables than we would expect. Everything is finishing quicker and nicer.
The temperature always the same?
It's constant. That's what the beauty of what we have here is we've been able to seal this so that way we control the environment. We keep it exactly where we want it.
Can we see the brains?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Keith, come on this way because this is where all the work's being done from the sun.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so where's the energy coming in?
Okay, so what we have here is Outback equipment. We use Outback equipment because it's one of the best in the world, if not the best. It has a less than a 1% failure rate. It just works amazing. It has amazing communication that comes with it.
Can you explain what we got going on there, those numbers there?
So what we can see here is we have 3.8 kilowatts of solar coming in right now. Our battery is at 90%. Sorry if I'm blocking it.
No.
And we're consuming 2.1 kilowatts. So we're currently making sure that our batteries are being filled up and we're carrying all the load of the structure.
So if you wanted more storage, you just get more batteries.
Exactly. We can expand this as much as we want.
What about how long do these batteries last?
These batteries, if they're treated really well, can last a good 20 years. Realistically, these ones have a 6-year warranty on them, which is kind of unheard of in batteries because that's a long time.
But the question, what happens to the batteries once they can no longer be used?
Yeah.
That's a big concern when
Absolutely.
it comes to EVs and anything.
Absolutely. All of these are completely recyclable. So the batteries are recyclable, our walls are recyclable, the solar is recyclable.
Anything in the unit?
This entire structure is, yes. It's non-biodegradable, so it's not going to go anywhere, but it's recyclable.
Okay, where can we follow you guys? Because it's not really to the end consumer as of yet, but we can be interested in what you guys are up to.
Oh yeah.
On the socials, what's the best way to follow you?
We have our website, ehdhybrid.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Enerdynamic on Facebook, EHT Corp. But if you go to our website, ehdhybrid.com, you'll see all of our links.
Good stuff, man. Fascinating stuff. And it's good to see you guys are so enthusiastic about it.
It's been amazing.
Because this is the future.